Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I am Jagmohan. I would like to speak on challenges of coaches in training beginners and advanced players. Now, as as for the present trend, there is a lot of demand for elite players. Earlier days, when you see earlier to 19s, we used to have only four competitions. That used to be state championships, national championships, and we used to have SAP games. Beyond that, we were not having many competitions, and these competitions used to be for 5 days of span. Now at present, we have lot of international competitions, as well as the important one is professional league. That means in a year, a player will be playing more than 5 to 6 competitions where the demand of training has come very important. That's why a trainee should be trained throughout the year. That means we have a lot of demands for a coach to train a player. Next slide, please. Now here, Kabaddi training is a planned and systemic continuous process of performing a Kabaddi player. Kabaddi players को बनाने के लिए, अच्छा player बनाने के लिए continuous हर दिन हर वक्त अपन लोग कबड्डी प्लेयर को सिस्टमिक तरीका से प्लेयर बनाना जरूरी है। इसीलिए वो अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस लाने के लिए ये कंटिन्यूस करना जरूरी है। टू अटेन दिस हाई लेवल ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस of the players, we need footwork, skill, readiness to perform, and coupled with tactics and strategy. Now here, कोई खिलाड़ी को बनाने के लिए आपको क्या क्या चीज चाहिए? इसमें पहले का चीज है फुटवर्क। बिना फुटवर्क का कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा। It is a base for kabaddi game. The person who has got good footwork, he can excel in the game by using his skills. The second one is skill. Skill क्या होता है? अच्छा स्किल से ये फुटवर्क रहने से कुछ नहीं बन पाएगा, लेकिन स्किल अप्लाई करने से पॉइंट मिलेगा। इसीलिए फुटवर्क के साथ स्किल रहना जरूरी है। ये दोनों सीख लिया समझो। If a player learns footwork, good skill, he has got good ability. But the other factor is readiness to perform. ये स्किल अच्छा कर सकता है एक प्लेयर, फुटवर्क के साथ कर सकता है, लेकिन जब जरूरी है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल राइडर है, राइडर ज्यादा बार राइडिंग करना जरूरी पड़ता है। इसमें क्या है, राइडर एक बार दो बार राइड करके खाली बैठ गया समझो, इसका मतलब क्या है, ही इज नॉट रेडी टू परफॉर्म द स्किल। ऐसा ही है, कब जरूरी पड़ा समझो, a corner has to go for individual holds and chains also. Now he knows the skill of holding the chain as well as going for a individual catches, but when the demand is there, he doesn't appear to that. That means he doesn't go for that. So for example, he is supposed to go for ankle, but he doesn't go for ankle. That means he is not ready to perform that. That means there is no readiness for that player. That means it is a must. A player should have readiness to perform. Now he has got all the three qualities, coupling with tactics. Now he has got all the qualities, but he needs tactics. In younger stages or early stages, you can see utilizing a single skill or single. As for when he sees a player, he goes for a touch. When you go for higher level performance, he has to use the skill tactic appropriate time. That means he should have rational application of the skill. If he doesn't have that, he can never be a best good player. As most important thing for this, these are the most important factors to stabilize the performance. Next slide, please. Yeah, for footwork and skills, perfection are interlinked. Now we say about only footwork. A player has got only good footwork. He doesn't have the coordination with the skill. For example, one player is having good footwork, but he has to go for the, if he wants to apply skill, that means technique he want to apply, he should have good footwork. That means a player to apply that, to reach the target and apply the skill, he need good footwork. If he doesn't have good footwork, he will not be in a position to go for applying of the skill. To get perfection in footwork and skills, biomotor qualities are important. To go for a good footwork, to apply the skill according to demand, we should have biomotor qualities are important. What you call as a biomotor qualities? Speed, strength, coordination, whatnot, other skills. These are the biomotor qualities. Without these biomotor qualities, a skill cannot be applied and the footwork cannot be done. Now, biomotor qualities and aptitude of the player helps readiness to perform. Now he has got a good biomotor qualities. That means he has got speed, he has got coordination while applying the skill. Then he will have the aptitude to apply that skill. Suppose if I don't have coordination, for example, I'm going for a toe touch. If I don't have flexibility or stretching of my leg, reaching the player with the footwork with a greater speed, then I will not be in a position to apply the skill properly. When I am not in a position to apply the skill properly, he will lose his aptitude. That means he will not be ready to apply that skill. Skills are the tools of the game. Now, once you say footwork is the base, then skills are tools to get points. For rational application of the skill, biomotor qualities has got a high demand. Now here, an elite player, he should have high quality of biomotor qualities to rational application. What you call about rational application of the skill? You call it a tactics you are going to adopt. That means as per the situation, when you can use the skill properly and get a point, that you call it as a rational application of the skill. With all these, with high quality of biomotor qualities coupled with footwork technique, can make good tactics, provided if the player has got physical capacity, physiological capacity and psychological capacity to meet the demand to become a high level player. Now when we talk about to want to bring to this quality of a player, now lot of at the above all the qualities, a player, a coach has got very lot of challenges to bring this player to the above demands. Next slide, please. Challenges to train beginners. Now when I'm talking about beginners, why I am stressing on this is I want to talk to the coaches, those who are training the beginners, and the physical education teachers and club members. Please make it a note. Please see that, please go back to your mind and think over that. Now you have 40 to 50 trainers with you. Now how many of them are reaching the goal? Now 40, 50 trainers you are having, some of them, maximum number are dropping at sub-junior level and junior level. Very few, 1 or 2 people are reaching the standard of national level, and none of them are reaching international standard. I don't tell to everybody, some of them, many of them, they are facing this problem. To overcome this problem, you should have a firm base to train the beginner. From the beginning, if you have a firm base and if you meet the challenges to bring the players to the upper standard, you have to face these challenges. Some of the challenges I am giving. First challenge is that selection of talent in the beginning. Now, once you say selection of the talent in the beginning, we have different method to select the beginners. First one is by screening the players. First one is beginning with the player. Now this is for the physical education teachers or the club members who are getting the beginners who doesn't know the game. They want to learn the game. They want to start the game. That means by screening. First one is by screening. That means first you have to see the physical qualities, physical structure of the player, how he is, whether he is having little broader shoulders, longer limbs, and etc. whatnot. Next one is mental ability. That means mental ability when he is playing some sort of game, lead off game, some other game, how he is reacting to the conditions of that game. That means reacting to the demands of that particular activity. If he is reacting well, you can choose from them. During other one is that suppose instead of beginners, you are going to, if you are in a school or you are having, you are going to start the club or you are going to start your coaching in a school, or a coach is starting his youngest training. Now where he has to go for the selections, during a teacher will go for that selection according to the age group in intramurals. During classroom, class competitions, he will be selecting the age group a lot for his training. When a coach or a club member, he want to, club people or the academy people, if they want to start, they should see the school games. Normally, maximum number of players you get in school games, more than hundreds and thousands you get in school games. So during this, you have to select. Now, how do you go for the selection? Selection is of two types. One is general, the second one is specific. When you talk about general, now anthropometric characteristics of a player, that means the physical structure of the player you have to see. Now, what do you say about the physical structure? That means height and other relative parameters, such as now you are going to select anthropometrically. Now, what will be his length level, and whether he is going to come up to a broader shoulder man. And other thing, important factors are that a player, if you see the player anatomical structure of a player, if he is having knock knee or bow legs, or when you see the foot, whether he is having good foot arch or flat foot or a curve. So the players who are suitable for kabaddi, you have to choose. Suppose a player is having knock knee, he is not useful for kabaddi. If a player is having bow legs, he may not be useful for that. If a player is not having foot arch, is having a curve in his foot, he will not be excelling future. As a physical education teacher, as a coach, when you go for the general observation, you have to see all these things. If you don't see, it is a challenge for you. If you don't select properly, your players will not come up to that standard. Next one is physical abilities of, physical abilities such as speed, coordination, and game ability. That means you have selected a player who is having a good physique. Now you have to see, as a coach, you have to see what is his speed, what is his coordination ability, and the ability to play the game. These things, as a coach, you have to see. If you are missing in this quality, then you will not be in a position to select a good player. Recognizing aptitude during the competition. Once you are seeing a school level competition, now his aptitude. That means a match is on. Whom you want to select. That player is a rider. For example, he is a rider. Now, if he is not taking riding frequently, once he goes for a ride, he hides back up to 10 minutes. Once a while, he is going towards the ride. Now, some of the players will be there, they go for the ride. If they are caught, again they go for the ride and they try to get points. That is the aptitude a player has got. That means he has got a killing instinct to become a player. Such players you have to select. Next one, please. Now, challenges to train beginners. Training talent beginners. Now, once you are training this phase, everybody fails in this phase. Now you have to train the rough coordination in the beginning. That means, for example, I have taken a player. I want him to ride. Now what he does, he jumps, he trots his footwork and tries to go for a touch. He jumps and tries to touch a toe touch, which is not correct. Now if you ask a player to go for leading leg ride, he go in a trotting position or a cantering position, he will be making his movement, which is not correct. Now here in the first stage, rough coordination you have to bring. That means that player has to come down to the ground. He has to come down to the ground. He has to bring his what you call equilibrium down. Then you have to make him to make movements properly. This is the rough stage. Once he gets that position, then you have to go for perfection of that stage. These stages you have to follow. If you want to make him a player, definitely a player has to come beyond all these stages, then only he can be a player. Now next stage of stabilization of refined movements. Now a player started making movement perfectly. Now as per the demand, he should be in a position to do the movements continuously, properly. Then you can say a player has got a stabilization in that movement. To get these things, talent training should be progressive and more specific. Now, once you train, now normally what we do is, we have the habit of making the players 3 महीने में player बनाने का चक्कर में रहता है. Now what I am telling you, this is not for those coaches. In 3 महीने में 4 महीने में coach बनाने वाले के लिए ये जो मैं बता रहा हूँ वो सूट नहीं होता है. Second one say initial training should be general and specific. Now you have to start with general training, then you have to go for specific training. Now as I told you, rough coordination is a general one. The next one, specific one, is stabilizing the performance, is the specific one. Early specialization should be avoided. No player who has started his game, now immediately you will start giving a skill to him. That means you are taking to specialization. He is not having the footwork, that you are making him to go for the skill, which will hinder his performance in future stage. इसमें क्या बताना चाहता हूँ, ट्रेनिंग करने का टाइम में पहले जनरल करना है, फिर बाद में स्पेसिफिक को जाना है. कभी भी आप लोग ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं, सपोज फुटवर्क सिखा रहा हूँ, फुटवर्क परफेक्शन आने का पहले और आने के पहले आप लोग स्पेसिफिक स्किल सिखाया समझो ना, वो स्किल में परफेक्शन नहीं बन पाएगा. आगे आने वाला दिनों में जब एडवांस प्लेयर बनेगा तब उसका दिक्कत होता है, प्लेयर उतना तक पहुंच नहीं पाएगा. Next slide, please. Adapting the player to the skill by visual observation. Now, when youngsters, we are talking about the youngster age of 12 or 13 years boys, we are taking visual observation by video clips or by showing some photos of the skill. You have to bring a mental picture of him by seeing the video. A player should get mental picture of it so that half of the skill he will learn. That means it sets in his mind. Next one is, after showing this, you have to go for demonstration. The visual skills which are showing, that should go into his mind. You have to choose such a video that it should go in his mind. Next one is demonstration. When you talk about the demonstration, a player or the trainee should get clear picture of the demonstration. Now what we do is, normally a toe touch मारना है बोलेगा, खाली एक बार ऐसा दिखा के a toe touch ऐसा मार दो बोल देगा. इसीलिए क्या हो जाता है, he will not learn. He will take long time to learn the technique. That's why demonstration, proper demonstration, and the way you are demonstrating, it should go into the minds of the players. If the demonstration is poor, learning will be very late. So after giving demonstration, you go for training. When you go for the training for youngsters, you have to start with simple to complex, then critical application. That I need not tell you. All the coaches will be doing, but they jump from simple to critical application. They jump because they want to make the player within 3 months or 4 months. So go for a simple, then complication. Now how is you call it as a complication? Simply toe touch action you make, then you have a cover defender and corner defender, then you go for a toe touch. That means you have come simple to complex. Then you go for the critical. In game movement, you make him to do and you try to get the point. That you call it as a critical application. So these phases you have to, as a coach, you have to observe whether he is overcoming all these things, then only you should go for the next one. Now in this important factor in adapting to the skill is most important factor is biomotor qualities should go hand in hand with the skill. जो भी skill अपन लोग सिखा रहे, सिखाने का साथ साथ में बायोमोटर क्वालिटीज का भाई साथ साथ में ले जाना पड़ेगा. Suppose I am teaching footwork of the defense player. When I am going for footwork of the defense player, I should have the quality of I should have more agility to move. I should have the sliding capacity to move. That means if I want to get that, I should have a good coordination ability. That means if I don't use the biomotor qualities along with the skill, a player learning will be late. That's why it is a high demand for the coach to combine all these things so that his player will go to the upper level. Next please. Now next one is judging the process in learning technique. Now once you say the learning of the technique, first one is performance level. Now how do you judge? This is the main problem the coaches are facing. Now process of learning. Now once you say the process of learning, you have to see the age, the other one training age, and how he is reacting to it. That means suppose I have taken a player of 14 years. Now when you go for what you call microcycle, I have given a microcycle to a player. That means 4 weeks I have taken. I have taught some skill. When I teach some skill, my target within 4 months, he should have the perfection in that skill. Now when I start training the player after third week or the 4th week, the performance level you can judge. That means the skill which I taught, whether he is getting perfection or in a critical way he is moving. That way you have to check the level of performance. Now next one is rate of improvement of performance. How they are improving. Suppose I have taken 14 years boys. I have trained them for microcycle, that is 4 weeks. Now when I taught them how they are improving, out of 15 people, only 5-6 are doing well. That means they have got perfection in that skill. Rest of them, they have not got the perfection. That means the rate of improvement is poor. That means again you have to go back and train them. Performance stability, improvement, potential. Now when I talked about you, मैं जो बताया पहले improvement कैसा performance improvement करने के लिए बताया, 6 weeks अपन लोग ट्रेनिंग दिया. ट्रेनिंग देने के बाद ये 15 साल का नहीं तो 14 years का लड़का को अपन लोग ट्रेनिंग दिया. ट्रेनिंग देने के बाद कुछ लड़का लोग परफेक्शन में आ जाता है, कुछ लोग क्या करेगा, पहले स्टार्टिंग स्टेज में रहेगा, कुछ लोग क्रिटिकल स्टेज में पहुंचता है. वो पहुंचने के लिए रेट ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट उसका कहा जाता है, जो वो एक एज का एक ही ट्रेनिंग देने वाला अच्छा तरीका से करने वाला रेट इन इम्प्रूवमेंट इज हाई. दैट मीन्स हाई. समझा ना. नेक्स्ट वन इज परफॉर्मेंस स्टेबिलिटी एंड इम्प्रूवमेंट पोटेंशियल. नाउ परफॉर्मेंस स्टेबिलिटी का मैं 6 वीक लिया. 6 वीक का अंदर परफॉर्मेंस का कंटिन्यूस बार बार वो ये स्किल कर रहे, बार बार उसको पॉइंट मिल रहे, बार बार ठीक कर रहे. इसका मतलब क्या है, इम्प्रूवमेंट पोटेंशियल इज हाई. दैट मीन्स नया स्किल को नया तरीका से नया अदर स्किल को इसी को कॉम्प्लिकेशन दे सकता है वो लड़का का. इस तरीका से ये चैलेंज को ओवर करना है. नेक्स्ट वन इज लोड टॉलरेंस. This is the main factor for the above 3 points. That means the load you give, it depends upon it hinders or it improves the performance of the player. That means the load which you are giving according to demand of the skill, according to his capacity, you have to give. Now the load is poor, or if the load is high, the player will have a adverse effect on the player, such as fatigue. Now you are giving a high load to a player. रगड़ के देखना रे अच्छा प्लेयर बनेगा, रगड़ सकता है, लेकिन कितना तक रगड़ सकता है, जो सस्टेन कर सकता है उतना तक ही रगड़ना. Now player, if you are giving high load, you find fatigue in that player, develop loss of interest will be there in that player. These are the symptoms you can see in the player. These are the challenges, you have to overcome those things. Next was loss of concentration on the skill. You will lose concentration if you teach him. मैं बताया एक player का capacity है 10 repetition करने का, मैं उसको 20 repetition करा समझो, ठीक से करना ही पाएगा. इसका मतलब you are giving a high load to that person. That means load plays a major role in this when you are giving training. Loss of appetite, खाना ठीक से नहीं कर पाएगा, he will be prone to injuries. क्या हो जाता है, आगे वाले दिनों में आप लोग ज्यादा लोड दिया समझो, उसका कैपेसिटी से ज्यादा लेने समझो, आगे आने वाला दिनों में he will prone to injuries होने का संभावना ज्यादा है. Judging progress in learning according to biological age and training age. Now this is most important a coach should keep. Now when you talk about biological age, that means the developmental age of a player. When you talk about the developmental age of a player, now here we have taken a player of 12 years. Now when you talk about 12 years, his biological BDA, body development index, is 0.72. That means adult stature will be 1. That means his development is 0.72. So according to his development, 12 years we have started. Now 2 years we have given training. Now once we have given 2 years training, his development age will be of 14 years, it will be 0.81. That means you are given sufficient time for his development according to his biological age. When you are given sufficient time for giving the biological according to biological age, if it doesn't improve, then you have to go back and you have to train, or you can weed out such players. Next slide, please. Next, please. Next slide. Player adaptation to game should be there, not game should not adopt a player. खिलाड़ी खेलना है, नहीं खेल को खिलाड़ी को लेना नहीं. This is most important. Moving simple to complex while applying the skill, everyone knows. Progress in performance according to biological and age and training. It's the most important. You have to see these two things together and you have to take it. Stabilization of technique for the demand of the game. Now in this stage, when you are teaching a skill, you have to see the technique, what he is learning. As for the game, it is moving or not, you have to check. Otherwise, you have to change. If you go blindly training that boy, he will not attain the performance. Next one, please. No, down. Adopting particular players to the technique. This is the most important factor a coach have to keep in his mind. Now, you have taught them all types of skills. Any defensive skills, offensive skills, so many skills you have taught him. He has acquired certain qualities. Then you have to adopt. By the age of 14, crosses and comes to 15 and 16, you have to adapt the skills to the particular player. That means as for his qualities, you have to adopt the player. First, you have to see the structural status of the player. That is prediction. Once you are specifying the skills, earlier you are not specifying to a particular person. Now you are specifying to learn particular skills to a player. Now you have to see the structural status. That means prediction. Now, as for the Kabaddi players, the demand is that a player attains the high his structural status at the age of 19 or in between 23. Now, height, if you see the maximum height he reaches is 176.2 plus or minus 6 centimeters. That means his height will be in between this. You have to estimate whether this man will reach that. Now you see the weight. If his weight goes up to 76.5 plus or minus 5 kgs. So you have to estimate whether he will grow up to that or not. Now when you see his muscle mass, now he has got a good muscle. Only muscle formation is over. Next one is thickening of the muscle only left. That means you can estimate his muscle mass should go 49.5 to 52.4, or up and down it may go. Now if you see the bone mass, that means he should have a good bone mass. Whether he is having good bone mass, whether he will go, that is of 15.5 to 16.1. Now if you talk about the fat mass, when he goes up to, it may be 8 to 12.5. So these are the some of the characteristics he should have by the time he attains to that. That means a coach should estimate how his physique will go up. Now you call it when for the Kabaddi players, the structural status of a player is endomesomorphy. That means more muscle mass, more bone mass he will have less bone mass. You have to estimate a player to grow up to that standard. So according to that standard, physical standards, you have to train a player. Along with that, biomotor qualities of a player. I need not tell you about these biomotor qualities, how they are important. Individual peculiarities. I'm talking about individual peculiarities. Now here, the individual peculiarities are nothing but inborn qualities. For example, we have two riders. Once you talk about a rider, if you take the quality of a particular rider, such as Naveen riding is different from other riders. If you have the other riders, such as one example I want to tell you, Maninder physical characteristics are different from Naveen, or from if you talk Pawan Sherawat. So you see the three players, they doesn't have the same physical characteristics. Their inborn qualities are different. Now here when you go for Maninder Singh, he plays in the corner. His characteristics are different. You go for the Naveen goes for, he plays in all the three zones. His characteristic is different. Now if you go for Pawan Sherawat, his characteristics also different. His attacks are different. His way of jumping is different. That means they have individual inborn qualities are peculiar. According to the peculiarity of the individual, you have to adopt a skill to the player. It is a great challenge for a coach how he molds the player into better performance. It is a challenge for the coach. Now, other thing is that he has to see readiness to perform. Now, once you say readiness to perform, first Pradeep Narwal is there. Pradeep Narwal is a rider. He plays in all the places. He goes for a dupki. That means ducking down, moving to the midline is the dupki he does. When you go for Pawan Sherawat, his way of readiness is when a chain comes, he will try to jump over the chain. Now he is ready. If I ask Pradeep Narwal to jump over the chain about 2 meters over him, he will not have readiness to perform that. So readiness, according to readiness of the player, you have to adapt the player to the demand. Next. Next slide, please. Now, major challenge for a Kabaddi coach is that challenge of preparing the player for psychological preparation of the players. As in the game has got a peculiarity. When the boy starts his career, he has to go for struggle. That means body contact is there. That means he will be having slight injuries. When he doesn't learn in the beginning stages, he will be prone to injuries. Now, most important part is how a coach motivates the youngsters. It is the base, how you prepare the player mentally. If you want to prepare the player, it should be in the base itself. Now, we at present, what we are doing, psychologists will come at the stage of when he goes to Indian team, we teach about psychology. They say this is a bull. That's why they will throw, they will not listen. From younger stage itself, you have to tell the motivate the players. हाँ भाई skill ऐसा है, तगड़ा है, तुम लोग रगड़ा तो भी आप लोग अच्छा तरीका से बाहर आ सकता है. These things you have to tell by motivating the player individually, as motivating the players in a group. When you show a top level players, देखा कैसा 4 players को धक्का मार के कैसा आ गया, देखा ऐसा आप लोग बनना है. छोटे बच्चों को बोलने से it is a motivation for them. Now in the beginning itself, another quality is injecting killing instinct. In the figure you can see a player is pushing all the 3 players. That means if he doesn't have the killing instinct, that rider will stand there only. She will not try to move towards the midline. That means you have to bring a player power into their minds, the killing instinct. एक बार पकड़ा गया, दोबारा क्यों नहीं आ सकता हूं? That killing instinct you have to give. If a player is reaching midline, is not in a position to reach the midline. That means you tell him you are reached up to there. तू ताकत है, तू धक्का मार के आ सकता है, नहीं तो टर्न करके आ सकता है. ऐसा आप लोग boosting देने से, that is killing instinct you are giving to that player. Now, from the young age, if he has got the killing instinct, motivation factors are there. Definitely, the player will go up to the higher standard. Now, these challenges will be up to 16 years of age. That means a player from 12 years reaches the stage of sub-juniors, he plays the national at the sub-juniors. By the time he attains this stage, he will start using tactical skills. That means he will be started using tactically. So in this process, by the time he reaches sub-junior stages, he should be in a position to start his tactics. Then from there, you have an intermediate stage, which I am not going to deal with the stage. It will be of academy. Now the present, the players, those who are going for the academies and STCs, that they will be facing these problems. And what are the challenges the coaches are facing, except training beginners, rest of all the demands are to be taken into the intermediate stage, that is novice. Understood? Now I am going to go for the next ones. Change the slide, please. Yeah, challenges training advanced players. What I am speaking may not be suit for certain coaches, and it may suit for some of them. Now, what you say, the advanced players, whom you call as advanced players. Now, according to the situation, a player gets a point. Definitely using the tactics, he will get a point. Advanced player is that he will get a point according to the situation. Along with that, he will create the situation and he will get the point. So such players, you call them as an advanced player. Maybe in defense, maybe in offense, you call them as advanced players. Now, great challenge. Yes, definitely training beginners and training novice, it is okay for the coach. Now, he will not be exposed out to the public. Now, when an advanced player is, when he takes the demand of the advanced player, a coach is exposed, success or lose. It will go on to the coach's head only. Now, first factor challenges for the player is, coach is gaining the confidence of advanced player. जो भी कोचेस है मैं बता रहा हूँ, हिंदी में बताने की कोशिश करूंगा. ये एडवांस प्लेयर्स किसको कहा जाएगा? ये सिचुएशन के हिसाब से आप पॉइंट लिया समझो, वो अच्छा है. ये एडवांस प्लेयर का ये क्वालिटी है. दूसरा अच्छा क्वालिटी है, किसको आप एडवांस प्लेयर कहा जाएगा? जो सिचुएशन का साथ पॉइंट लेता है, उसका साथ साथ में आप सिचुएशन क्रिएट करके पॉइंट ले सकता है उसको एडवांस प्लेयर कहा जाएगा। नाउ पहले challenge is that gaining confidence of advanced players. Suppose if the coach is traveling with him from novice to the advanced players, he can gain confidence because he has the trainees are with him. But sometimes what happens from the training stage, he will go to advanced stage. Advanced coaches are different and they will be training only advanced players. Now to get confidence, how do you get a confidence on that player? You should have thorough knowledge about skills, technique, tactics on different players, on different aspects. You should have a thorough knowledge. Having the thorough knowledge will not help you to gain confidence of the player. Now you have to show a new player, advanced player comes to you. To gain confidence, you teach him a tactics. When you are teaching a tactics, he has got some weak points in his tactics. That means he is not in a position to get the point, and he is not in a position to apply his tactics different ways. Now, as a coach, what you have to do when you are training him, you tell your tactics to him, whatever tactics he's using. Now make him to use the tactics and get advantage of it and get points. Then the player will have confidence on you. हाँ भाई, ये कोच साहब मेरे को ये tactics सिखाने से जो tactics मैं कर रहा हूँ उसमें point नहीं मिल रहा था, जैसा ये बताया उसका हिसाब से मेरे को point मिला. Then he will start believing the coach and he will come to him. Other thing is that when you go for advanced stages, now many players will have socio-economical problems will be there. As a coach, as a elderly person, you feel he thinks you are the father of everything. So you have to deal with the socio-economical problems of the player also, so that he will be comfortable, you will have comfort with you, he will start training with you. There are other factors, so I will not be in a position to give all these things. Time is running out, I have to complete this. So these are for example, सभी समझ सकता है क्या क्या चीज advanced coach को advanced player का साथ deal करने का. Now some of the factors I am telling you. Applying tactics in combination skills. Now first problem is that when advanced player is there, suppose if he is playing in the corner zone, when he is playing in the corner zone, he will create the situation. By creating the situation, he will not depend upon one skill when you are going for tactics. He will have different skills with him to apply. Now combination skills you are applying in, for example, in the corner zone, a rider is riding. When he is riding in the corner, he will create the situation. While creating, his idea is to go for bonus crossing or toe touch at the corner. But when he is creating the situation, now he found the cover coming forward. That means cover has seen that he is trying for a bonus. But during that time, cover is closer and cover is giving close cover. Instead of going for a bonus point, he will go for attack on the cover. He will get a point. That means he has got the skill of going for a bonus point. He found the other player. That means he is in front of him. By using different skills, his tactics, by combining the skills, he is getting a point. Similar way, I have given an example. Many things are there, even in defense also. You have many things. I don't want to go into that. That means while you are teaching a tactic, you should have different skills with the players. That means we can say that if a player has got more perfection is more perfection and more skills, he will have a more range of benefits he will get in his game. Next one is when we talk, so that a coach have to plan. I cannot say according to that he has to go. No, earlier one. Come back. Next one is success rate of tactics in the game. Now you have trained him a tactics by using combined skills. Now when you are applying these tactics in the game, how far it is working, whether it is working properly, what is lacking in that. That means a coach should have coaching eye, where the player is committing mistake and how the tactics is failing. He has to go to that and he has to subtract that. That is the demand a coach will be having, and he will reorganize that one. Player ability of rational application of tactics. Now, the player ability. Suppose I taught him a tactics. When I taught him his tactics, he is not in a position to do. I have trained him for more than 3 weeks. He is not in a position to do it. Then it is the duty of the coach to know whether he has got rational application. That means as per the demand of the place where he has to apply skill, he is not in a position to apply the skill. Then you have to rectify that. So as an individual, why he is not in a position to do it, why he is not getting rational application of the skill, a coach has to identify and he has to rectify that. Next slide, please. Yeah, here training tactics before the competition and its success rate. In the place of now you are going for a pre-competition place. In pre-competition conditions, now training tactics before the competition. That means pre-competition phase, you are training him a tactics, or not to the individual, even to the team also. In defense, you will be teaching tactics. When you teach the tactics, now you have trained the tactics individually as for the team. Before going for the competition, major competition, you will be playing some of the competition, local competitions, or the lower level competition you play. Then you have to check the success rate. If the success rate is not going to come, again you have to train for the success rate. So that it is left to the situation what you are facing. According to that, you have to place. ये tactics बनाने का टाइम में आप टैक्टिक्स तो ट्रेनिंग करने के बाद आप चेक करना है, ट्रेनिंग करके ये बढ़िया खेलेगा बोल के छोड़ना नहीं। आप लोग प्री कंपटीशन का पहले आपका ट्रेनिंग फेज रहता है, ट्रेनिंग फेज में आप क्या करना है, इसको चेक करना है। कैसा चेक करेगा? दूसरा टीम्स का साथ खिला के वो अप्लाई करने का टाइम में सक्सेस हो रहे नहीं हो रहे वो चेक करना है। जहां जहां वो गलतियां कर रहे उसको सुधारना जरूरी है, नहीं तो आप जो टैक्टिक्स बताया उसको काम में नहीं आएगा। इट इज वन ऑफ द चैलेंज ये एडवांस कोचेस विल बी फेसिंग। ट्रेनिंग टैक्टिक्स बिफोर कंपटीशन सक्सेस रेट in variation of the skills as a tactics. Now here success rate of variations. Now you taught him the skills. For example, a corner zone. Just मैं क्यों दे रहा हूँ, इजी है बताने का और ज्यादा ये करने का जरूर नहीं। कॉर्नर जोन में कोई प्लेयर सिचुएशन बना रहे, आप उसको टारगेट दिया, टैक्टिक्स दिया, कवर को टच मारने का आप टैक्टिक्स दिया, कभी भी सिचुएशन अच्छा बना रहे, करेक्ट प्लेयर मिलने वाला है, लेकिन वो अप्लाई करने का टाइम में क्या हो जाता है, थोड़ा इसमें हेयर डिस्टेंस में टच निकल जा रहे। और दूसरा चीज है टच नहीं कर पा रहे, अपर बॉडी को टच नहीं कर पा रहे। एज ए कोच नाउ योर प्लेयर हैज गॉट different variations in that. Touching with the hand, he has got variation. That is second variation is that a player has a variation of maintaining his balance and touching at the lower limbs. Skill is the same. You have the variation. In that variation, he is going for the touch. Thereby, he will be successful. That means when he is not succeeding in particular tactics by airline distance, now he has a variation of touching him in lower limbs. If the player is escaping by showing the upper body back, he is not in a position. But when he takes the upper body up, lower limbs will not be moving back along with that. Even if the lower limb moves, it will take more time. So he can go for the touch. That means one variation. Now here when you talk about the variations, now I have got the technique of going for a toe touch. I have taught him to go for a toe touch. When I taught him for the toe touch, he is not getting the toe touch. Now I have the variation. For example, Prashant Roy. Take Prashant Roy right. Now he goes for a bonus. He comes back. Now my tactics is to go for a touch. When he goes for a bonus, along with that, I want a touch point. Now Prashant Roy, he goes for a bonus once. Second stage, what he does, he makes the action of bonus, he goes for a toe touch. That means his variation. Directly once he goes for bonus, that one, he will not get a direct toe touch, he will not get, he will show the action of that and he will go. He has got the variation. According to, a player has got variation. You have to go for, when you go, you have to construct a tactics according to the variations he has got. That means, so I told you, the player who has got more skills or more variations, more, there are chances for more success. The next one is modification of tactics individually, individual player, teams, a team. It's for success competition. Now, when you talk about the modification of tactics, that's what I told you upper. That means when you go for variations in the skills, that means applying, using different types of variation. Tactics were individual player. Now he is getting points in the corner zone. Now you are asked him to go for attack in the corner zone. Now you made your player to make direct fast running and attacking on the corner zone. When you are making an attack, opponent players, they have judged your making a movement, corner cover chain is following you. Now you are changing the tactics slowly. You will ask your player, check in center chain, then go deep into the corner zone, get a point. That means your tactics is the same, that you are, as per the demand of that, you are changing the tactics of individual player. Same manner with the team also. If the player is making attack on the cover or makes attack on the corner zone, you give the tempting cover, then the corner chain will go for a chain hold. That means you have changed the tactics of it. That many things are there, just I am giving an example of it. Success rate of combination skills applied as tactics. Now you have to see combination skills. I told you, you are using different types of combination skills. When you are applying, you have to see the success rate of it. Now I gave a combination skill of cover touching and bonus crossing. Now his success rate is not correct. Now what I have to do is going for a making a combination of cover, showing the action of toe touch and going for a bonus. Now the success rate of the combination skills are ठीक है, आप देखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि जब भी आप कॉम्बिनेशन स्किल्स बनाता है उसमें सोचना है पॉइंट मिल toe touch. Now the players are playing on between back and bonus line, cover is giving cover there. Now instead of, I told him to go for a toe touch. Instead of going for a toe touch, you will go for a hand touch to make the players to move back. That means the combination is successful. Thereby, you can get a point. If otherwise, the combination is wrong, you have to go for different combination. Yes, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, utilizing the individual abilities for winning of the competition. Now you have different players. For different players, those who are very good in their skills. For example, second man catches, you can say some of the players are there. There are some of the players cover, they are good individual players. Thereby you can stop the main riders and you can go for the winning. When you go for the riders, you have the top riders. When you are trailing back, you have the very good rider utilizing the individual ability. That means you are trailing by 4 points or 5 points. You must have seen in Pro Kabaddi, teams trailing in Pro Kabaddi. For example, Bangalore, when you see that Pawan is there, when they are trailing with 6-7 points, they are not worried. They have utilized the individual player and they have come back and they won the match. That means the coach have utilized the individual ability to win a competition. There, like that, many examples are there. You can see. No, properly he should utilize. Instead of, suppose he is caught 2 times or 3 times in the ground. Now, if you make him to sit there, utilizing when it demands, if you don't utilize that player, make him to sit and use other players there, then you will not be in a position to win the contest. That means using the player in appropriate time utilizing his abilities, and you can win the competition. That is left to the coach how he does it. Implementation of good strategy in the game. Now, when you talk about good strategy, when you talk about good strategies, now that is a plan. Plan is of two. You have, when you plan for a strategy, you have two things. One is defense and one is riding. And when you plan a strategy, you have to go for balance with defense as well as riders. Now the riders are playing. Suppose you should assume that riders are failing in the beginning. Now you should make strong of the defense. Like that, you have to plan the strategy for a whole game. Before going for the match, you have to plan strategy for when 7 players are there, when 6 are there, when 5 are there, and when you have to see the combination of the players when 5 are there, 4 are there. You have to try and make the strategy for your strong and weak points as well as weak and strong points of opposition. It's a great challenge for a coach to face. Team management in the game. It is a burning problem of a coach. When they go for a professional or international competitions, they find a lot of problems in the team management. In team management, first thing is when you have the stalwart players, the stalwart players will logger their heads. They don't have understanding between two players. Everyone feels he's a king and everyone feels is doing well. ये दो प्लेयर्स अच्छा प्लेयर्स 2 प्लेयर्स 3 प्लेयर्स रहा समझो कोई टीम में, उसमें क्या हो जाता है, ईगो बढ़ जाता है. ईगो बढ़ने से मैं अच्छा हूं, मैं बढ़िया हूं बोल के पूरा टीम को खत्म हो जाता है. वो खत्म नहीं करेगा, अपना दिखाने के लिए चक्कर में क्या हो जाएगा, द स्ट्रेटजी यू हैव प्लान्ड it will fail. So that's why main demand of the coach is to bring the top level players along with other players. It is a great challenge for a coach to bring them together. And another thing is that making a captain, a person who is amicable to all the players should listen to him. He should be a planner, like a coach outside. He should be a planner whom you are taking as a captain. That is a great challenge for a coach, how he makes it. And another thing is that there are many other factors I will not be discussing, so just I'm giving an example of them. The other factor is that during a match, how he interacts with his players by giving a pep talk and giving a tactics. Now, whatever he has taught to the players, his strong points he should take and give a pep talk to the players so that they can meet the demand and they can explore their strong points and try to get the point. Now, a coach has got a very good tactics and your team players will not be in a position to execute the tactics. Then there is no use of using the tactics. So as a coach, when you give the pep talk, whatever you have tried, you have to give them and they should understand. Now, normally you coaches faces different problems. Now you want to give a good tips to the players. Now some of the 4 players will be moving that side and 2 players will be moving that side. 2 of them are listening to you. Now when you are telling a defensive tactics, then the tactics goes waste. That's why you should have control over the players. Players should believe you. There are other factors, psychological factors, and substitution of the players is the most important. Now if a player is failing or you need a particular tactics to apply, the players who are inside the ground, they may not be doing that. Now you have a substitute player who has got that capacity of fulfilling your tactics. Now you should be in a position to substitute that player, bring him inside. There are some of the things a coach has to bear in his mind and he has to overcome all these things. Next one is utilizing the individuals, the same thing, avoiding injuries with infrastructure, good infrastructure. Now when you are training, some beginners you are training, okay, now they are playing in the grass or mud or anything you will be playing, that the level of competition will be less, the speed and other things are less. When you go for the advanced players, here what you have to do is that advanced player needs more demand is there for infrastructure. If infrastructure is not proper, they will be prone to the injuries. Infrastructure in the sense, not only the mat for a training, what you call training equipment, as well as fitness equipment should be a proper one. Otherwise, they will be prone to injuries. Next one, please. Next slide. After rehabilitation of injured player, bringing him to high level performance, it is also important challenge for a coach. Suppose अच्छा खिलाड़ी है, अच्छा खिलाड़ी को चोट लगा, चोट लगने के बाद रिकवर होके वापस आ गया, वापस आने के बाद कोच का डिमांड बढ़ता है, क्या करना पड़ेगा, इसको वापस उसका पूरा परफॉर्मेंस में लाना. That means he has to diagnose the injuries, how much he has recovered, and what are the things to bring him to that stage. That means a ligament tear is, for example, a ligament tear is for that player. Suppose after ligament tear, he has gone for operation, he has come for the rehabilitation, coming back. Strengthening that ligament depends upon the coach. The doctor, after making him to walk, he will leave him. Then it is your duty to strengthen that part and again bring him back to the mainstream. The great demand of the coach lies there. What are the skills he is applying through that injured part? He has to strengthen those things. Maybe strength, coordination ability, whatnot. Next one is making the player to maintain high level fitness. That is physically, mentally, for the demand of high level competitions like nationals, international, and professional leagues. Now, I told you, when a professional, now at present, a player will not be sitting idle throughout the year. He will be playing many tournaments. He may play the state championship, national championship. Now he will go for professional league, and once in 4 years or 2 years, he will go for international competitions. Now you have to keep the player fit physically as well, mentally fit as per the demand, high level competitions. Now, if a coach successfully meets these challenges, training the players, maximum, suppose you are training the players, number of players in this pattern, maximum number of your players will represent the state, nation, international, and professional leagues. Thereby, they will bring laurels to the country as well as for you and for the league also. Next one. Next one, please. I'm concluding it. By facing the above all challenges, our coaches, coaching field, you have a challenge to bring the players to the high level performance. You have to challenge yourself to produce number of elite players. So to do that, have a passion for coaching so that you can challenge yourself. Thank you. Just I have given you, this is a very big topic. I try to touch all these things in a nutshell within 1 hour. Actually, this topic is for each, it will go for 1 hour it will take. So I try to complete this. Anything if you want to ask, you can ask.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one common question from many people. It's very common that many players are making fake date of birth certificates. Under 16 years, player is playing under 14.
Yeah.
How we can stop this practice?
The thing is that we should be strict. The thing is that it is being done by everyone there. Main thing is that the physical education teachers who are in the schools, they should be pious in giving the date of birth. Now we cannot stop like that. Individual as well as the physical directors as well as the coaches. Coaches are main responsible for this. They know that the age of the particular person. They know that is what you call chronological age. They know when they join in the school, they have the date of birth according to the chronological age they give. But once they are coming to 16 years, higher age person is coming. That means he doesn't have the quality which he has to do in 15. The overage person, if he is coming, the performance will come down. It is a burning problem throughout India. If the physical education teachers, as well as the parents and the coaches, if they are not strict about this, it is a loss for that particular coach. He makes him to play under 16. What next? When he goes to intermediate stage, that's what the burning problem is, that overage players are playing in that particular age. When they come to the next round, the demand of the load is high. He cannot sustain that load. He will come out from that. That's why if a coach trains 30 trainees, not even one is coming for the international level for certain coaches. So it is a great burning problem for the coaches. Please, coaches, keep it in your mind. Physical education teachers and parents also keep it in your mind. Try to bring your trainee original age. That means a parent or the coach or the physical education is ruining the career of that particular player. Neither he becomes a player nor he excels in his education. That they are spoiling his career. So everybody should keep in mind that individually we cannot chat. Yes, please.
Regarding this overage problem, I want to inform all the participants that Sports Authority of India has started NSRS, that is National Sports Repository System. That is an online system which is created for all the sports person, and I'll request all the participants like coaches or physical education teachers, those are available today online in this program. They should register the player at the initial stage. Like if some player has come at the age of 8 to 10, anybody can log in and register themselves on that portal of NSRS that is available on SAI website. And that has also been made compulsory for all the players, irrespective whether they are working, they are playing in some in a state system, in some SAI centers, or in private academy, or in private club. So it's a very good system to maintain a complete biodata, including the date of birth and other details of a player at a very initial stage. So if that is done, I think this date of birth problem will not come in future. So I'll request all the participants here, they should immediately register all the players. That not only player, there is a link also of registering their coaches. So that way it will link coach as well as player both. तो जो डेट ऑफ बर्थ की प्रॉब्लम है ये हिंदुस्तान में काफी बड़ी है और इसको हमको समझना चाहिए, इसीलिए हमारे देश में जूनियर लेवल पे बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट आते हैं और सीनियर लेवल पे हम इतना अच्छा नहीं कर पाते हैं जितना जूनियर लेवल पे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय खेलों में। तो मैं एक बार आप दोबारा बताना चाहता हूँ, भारतीय खेल प्राधिकरण ने जो NSRS स्कीम के तहत ये जो पोर्टल शुरू किया है, इसमें आप अपने सभी बच्चों को बेसिक बायोडाटा रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं एंड that information will be readily available to all the authorities, all the for whenever it is required, he can log in and show that authenticated data. उसमें कुछ सर्टिफिकेट्स भी आपको अपलोड करने पड़ते हैं। तो जगमोहन साहब अभी कुछ और क्वेश्चंस हैं, आप वो भी ले लीजिए।
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question. It is from Nitul. What is suitable anatomy for a raider, fat mass and muscle mass, and what are physical components required for a raider?
Yeah, for riders, when we talk about the riders, I told you about the peculiarities. Physical peculiarities are there. You may have certain riders may be tall, they may be successful, and short riders are also successful here. Now, when you talk about the physical structure of a rider, you should have more muscle mass and bone mass, less fat mass should be there. And if the player is having these two qualities, we have to, it should be coupled with biomotor qualities. If a player is having more muscle mass, more bone mass, height is good. He doesn't have the biomotor qualities are not there. That means speed is not there, coordination ability is not proper, then technique is not proper, then he cannot, physical qualities are good, but he doesn't have the other qualities which demands for the game. That means for riding. So the player cannot be a good player. Along with the physical characteristics, he has to go for biomotor qualities as well as skill abilities. Coupled with these, that's why you find, must have seen in Pro Kabaddi, there are many riders, those who are riding, but a few riders, they are excelling in the game. That means they are meeting the demands of that particular game. That's why they are excelling. Rest of the players, they go for through 2, 3, 4 rides. When they are caught, they'll be out from the screen. That's why once you have these are all linked one. Suppose, for example, Naveen. When you talk about the Naveen, you call him as early maturer. That means at the age of 19, he has excelled. That means he will play for a longer duration. He has got all the other qualities. He has got muscle mass. He has got bone mass. Along with that, he has got skill. He has got coordination ability, and he has got rational application of the skill. All these together makes a player to excel. So that's why he's early maturer. He will play for a longer duration. Now, present Kabaddi, I'm warning everybody, don't think a player will play for 10 or 15 years. No, these players can play for more than 5 to 6 years, maximum 5 years. If the fitness level is high, he will play for 2 or 3 more years, because the present demand is more. Not like earlier players. Now, players क्या कहता था, मैं भाई 14 years खेला, भाई 15 years खेला, भाई 15 national खेला, 16 national खेलिया. But when the Pro Kabaddi has come, that professional game has come, the demand is very high to show their performance. They will be prone to injuries, and the demand, as for the demand, they cannot sustain for a longer duration. As for the scientific coaching, a player will have maximum best performance will be of 5 years. If the fitness is there, he will continue that. You may ask a question, how Jiva is playing and Chalnathan is playing. So their cases are exceptional cases. You should not take them as example. They are exceptional cases. I told you individual peculiarities. According to individual peculiarities, they can play. And that age group, players already retired, they are sitting with me. Yeah.
Sir, one more question from Duncan Odiamambo. Is it right to train a beginner player together with elite players in the beginning?
No, it is you are doing a mistake. Elite player, you cannot train him along with the elite player, but when the elite player is practicing, he can see. That means a beginner, the load which you are giving to the beginner is different, and elite player load is different. The way he has to learn is different. Now, if you make him to practice an elite player will go for a tactical application of the skill that the youngster will try. That means he will learn a wrong technique. By that, if he learns the wrong technique, it hinders his performance in higher stages. So the beginner should be taught separately. The load and everything should be separate, and the elite player training should be separate. But you can show the beginners how they are training all these things. You can show them. They will have a mental picture. They will have the goal to come to that level.
Thank you, sir. One more question. One coach is saying, I am having one player with knock knees problem, but he is playing very good at national level. So according to you, he is having a good future or not?
No, he doesn't have a good future. See, he can play the nationals, but he cannot play for the country. The demand is very high. That means his movement. He can come up to some extent level. That's what I told you. Flat foot, foot arch, knock and knee, bow legs. Bow legs can maintain, but knock and knee, very less chances are there. That means he cannot maintain longer things. Suppose the standard of the game is high, he cannot reach up to that standard, because the speed which he is using, the turning, other motor qualities which he has to apply, he may not be in a position to. This may be an exceptional case, not for everybody. He may come to the national level, but not others. But don't take a knock and knee person and bow leg person who is having flat foot or what is called foot curve. Foot curve, he can play up to some extent. When you start giving load on him, he will have foot injuries, especially when you are playing on the mat. Definitely he will be injured. Why I am telling all these things is that we want more players to come up to the higher level. See, a coach coaches for 4 years, but he brings that player to a state level. So much work he does, but his player doesn't come to the top level. That is the burning problem which we are facing. Lakhs of players are playing kabaddi. Now you find handful of players, elite players we are getting. Why? Every coach is training, 30 to 40 people they are training. How many of them are coming to senior national level? That you have to think. That's why I have started this starters beginning, make a foundation, then build the foundation in novice level, that is intermediate level. Then he will go to advanced players. He will play for a longer duration. Otherwise, he will come. You must have seen in Pro Kabaddi, players have come, played one season, next season vanished. Why? Because he doesn't have foundation there. So that's why we are facing problem. That's why, dear coaches, be careful while bringing youngsters to the upper standard. You should have at least 80% of your trainees from beginners should come to the novice, that is intermediate stage. From there, at least 25% come to the advanced stage, and out of that, 1 or 2 may play for the country, and rest of the other players they can play for the league. So be careful while training, sir.
Sanjeev ji, is there any? We can take up last question if there is any other important question.
This is an important question from Dr. Sarabjit Singh.
Yeah.
Sir, as weight categories are there in Kabaddi and many players are losing their weight up to 5 to 6 kg just 2 or 3 days before the competition, is it affect the performance of the player?
Definitely, definitely. What are the, you have seen elite players, but he is not attached with the Pro Kabaddi players. Now, for example, that Maharashtra boy who has got a now tall guy, now he has excelled in Bombay team. Now he has come to Telugu Titans team. Now weight is that, just I'm giving an example. Dear friend, don't think otherwise. So now, according to his body weight, it was 92 kgs. He has reduced to 85 kgs, 90 to 85 kgs he brought it. When he brought that weight down, now his performance in the first 4 matches, it is low. He is not in a position to perform well. Later he has gained weight. After gaining weight, he started excelling well. So bringing the weight, you can bring half kg, 1 kg, not more than that. If you try to go for reducing the weights up to 2, 3, 4 kgs in one season, you can make it. Rest of the season, slowly the body capacity, the muscle capacity comes down. Thereby, you wanted to do something, you will not be in a position to do it. So better not to reduce. Yes, 5 kgs weight is there. Reduce the weight in regular intervals. That means within 2 months, you reduce 1 kg. Within 2 months, you can reduce the kg. Doing the activity, regular activity. Then afterwards, doing the activity for 2 months. Now at the last, if you try for 1 kg, then you can do it. But at a stage, before the competition, you try to do it. By name only, you will be there. You will not be performing. You have the high reputation. When you reduce the weight and play, you will not be excelling in that. You lose your performance. So reducing the weight at a time, 5, 6 players, it hinders the performance, definitely. But reducing the weight slowly, in the span of 5 months, 6 months, slowly 1 kg, 2 kg like that, he can maintain the performance.
Sir, actually, so many questions are there, but we are asking one last question, as it is very common from C. D'Souza. actually most of the school trainees, they are playing on a mud surface mostly, and after practicing on mud, they are directly going to mat. Will it affect the performance?
Yeah, in the beginning it may affect. In the beginning it may affect. Later stages, the only thing is that when they are playing in the mud, sliding, falling, all these things, they can do it freely. But when you come to the mat, that the mat has got the power to restrict your movement. Now, toe touch which you are doing on the mud, it will be very fast than on the what you call on the mat. Mat, you will have a restriction for the player who is entering inside to the mat. Once they start playing for a longer duration, again they will come back to the normality. Even the movements which they are making on the mud, it will be faster than the movements which they are making in the mat in the beginning once they enter into the mat. Once they start practicing on the mat, the speed will go high. Definitely their body or the foot accustomed to the mat surface, so they can play. But in the beginning, 1 or 2 months, they will not have that performance which they are having on the ground.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, so nice of you. Yes, Raghav.
Jagmohan Saab, thank you very much. I know today's topic was very important. Not only important, it is very exhaustive, and you can speak hours on this. So as you know, we have a limitation of time, and sir, you have very well taken up all the important points and aspect of challenges of training. And thank you very much, sir, for today's program.